Hi everyone. So today I'm having the fourth focus for my fourth episode in the fourth week of the show. This was all made on purpose, and I know it's a stupid geeky thing, but I made it on purpose, and he accepted, and I'm really excited to have him. And without further ado, here's the intro. Okay, now for real, from this moment on, we are
Okay.
in the interview. Thank you so much for accepting this invitation.
Okay.
I sort of geeked out a little bit in the intro because I was planning for you to be the fourth guest in the fourth episode of the fourth week. So
But it's the
everything,
15th. You could have timed it another day.
yeah.
Although not the time it goes out.
But I'm so happy to have you here. The first thing that I usually ask is where the name came from, the Ford Focus. But before that, thank you so much for the lightning tip of Ghost of Tsushima. I spent so many hours just on the weather, the thunder weather,
Yeah.
looking to see where it would show up next, and I never guessed that it only shows up once.
Yeah. So Jason from Sucker Punch replied to that the other day saying, thanks for letting me know it could be a bug that it only occurs the once. So they may change that. But yeah, it does it immediately, doesn't it? As soon as you
Yeah.
switch the weather, and then it doesn't matter how long you wait, it won't happen again. But yeah,
Hey,
you can
but
see from the tip there, you've got to be quick.
yeah, and I
It's
was
all
like,
in.
and I was like, okay, I have to. I tried to time it, so I would change the weather and press the share
Yeah.
button to
Oh,
cat,
okay.
and
Yeah.
it never worked. So it was a really nice tip, and for Jason commenting on that, it's really cool. Now the
Yeah.
real
Always
first.
happy to help. Also, the real first question. Well, obviously, the name was just so that I could be the fourth guest on your show.
It
It
was
was
all
always the
planned.
plan. No, the so traditionally online, all of my online accounts have always been Mick LSP. So Mick, short for Michael, uh, three-letter Mick, just because that's what I used to use on high scoreboards. So like arcade
Oh,
games when you could put three letters.
yeah.
So MICK doesn't fit. MIC is like a microphone. So MIK is what I ended up with, and that's stuck since I was little. The LSP is an acronym for Love Samantha Price, which is my partner since the age of 16. But then so that's when I started on Twitter, that's what my name originally was. Um, and I don't know when I changed it actually, probably 2017, I guess it was, to the Fourth Focus. So that was when I wanted to get dedicated to the virtual photography side of it. Um, and yeah, there's a few elements to it. The obvious ones, obviously, focus is just something kind of camera related. Um, Fourth was partly my nephew asked just the other day. He said, "So now that the PS5 is coming out, are you going to be the fifth focus?" And I was
Oh.
like, "Nice thinking, but no." So yeah, I play on PS4. Everything I capture is on PS4, so that was a slight element to it. But it's actually um, to do with the way I think virtual photography is helping games break the fourth wall. So you know about the fourth wall
Yeah,
concept
yeah,
of
yeah.
how games reach out into the real world, something Hideo Kojima is a master at. And I
Breaking.
think the way that now the art of games is invading people's lives and interests so much is a really good way of that sort of fourth wall breaking. So it's partly that. That's the fourth. And finally, it's a kind of a little play on. I used to love the old PlayStation adverts, hence why I chose this T-shirt for today.
Uh,
So this is one of the old.
Oh
Fun anyone.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the first time that you showed. Yeah, I remember that.
So the PS2 was the third place. So it's a bit of a play on that. So it was I think it was different place, different rules. Which I think if you take from a normal photography background coming into virtual photography, different rules, okay.
Yeah,
And it just seemed to all fit. So yeah,
yeah. You might be
lots of reasons.
the second biggest fan of PlayStation that I know, and
It's
it's
only second.
yeah. I have a tattoo with the
Yeah, fair enough. I have
the
no tattoos.
yeah. So I'm the first. You're the second. Let's try to find the fourth. Uh, so one thing that at least when I started, you already had the name the Fourth Focus, and at least I made this misconception, and I saw some people make it too. Is that you are more than one person? There is
Oh
more
yeah.
than one person behind the
Um,
Fourth Focus. How do you deal with
I
that?
how do I deal with it? It doesn't bother me. I don't address it really. I do get that a lot actually. People, especially with things like the contests, people reply, "Oh, thanks to you guys or all of you and stuff," and it's like it's just me. um, but that was another part of the idea behind changing the name from something personal, something that was just about me, to something that was more of a broader brand. So it is deliberately a brand name rather than an individual, and that's partly maybe a ambition, if you will. So that you
Yeah.
hope that it will grow into something more than just being about me. Um, but yeah, I do get that a lot with people assume that it's a collective. Um, I take it as a compliment in some ways because if they see the amount of work that goes into the blog post, for example, and assume that it must be a team, great, you know.
That's exactly
Um,
what got me to think that it was a team. The amount of work in the blog. I entered in the, I don't remember the name, sorry, in the first Horizon contest that DP
okay, yeah,
Dorf
the
won.
cuts.
Yeah, that one, the cut. And
Hmm.
I entered that one around that time. It was when I started, and I remember I tagged you like you were a community page back when I
Yeah,
started because of that, because you did so
yeah.
much work and the blog and the context. So that exactly what you said, that's why people think you are more than one person. It was my misconception.
No, it's fine. I say take it as a compliment, and people. I've actually, sorry everyone, but I have disabled my tagging on Twitter now.
I did
Not
the
because I
same.
didn't want.
Yeah,
You've done the same, I think. I mean,
yeah.
not because I don't want to see things from other people, but I just don't like the way it handles the notifications. So you end up getting swamped by posts and replies, and you just miss things. So I thought, right, rather than missing stuff that could be more important, yeah, I disabled that for that reason.
Yeah,
So,
I then changed that for people that I follow can tag me. So
oh yeah,
it
oh
it
okay, yeah,
it's a middle ground. I started with disabling everyone, then
yeah,
changed to that way. And that way I think it's a nice middle ground
yeah, it
to,
limits it a little.
yeah. But still sometimes my notifications go crazy without me being actually in the post. Uh
Yeah.
so I remember I made you this question when you were a guest in the Gametographer show, but what got you started? I know you have been doing this for a while now, but what got you started in virtual photography?
Um. So I mean, it goes back really to just a general uh, interest in visuals and in photography in general. So actually, for maybe, I don't know, 16, 17 plus years or so, I've been really keen amateur photographer, real life amateur photographer. And that all just started from actually during my first degree. I did a degree in forensic science, crime scene investigations, and we did crime scene photography, which was like one of the most interesting parts of the whole degree. So that was probably my first exposure to real thoughtful photography. And then I remember getting just a little Sony compact that was really fantastic at macro shots, so it could focus on to less than 1 centimeter away from things. And they're putting the camera up in the face of spiders and things like that. But then, so that was like one side interest, one hobby. My other has always been gaming from a young age. I had an Amiga. I grew up with an Amiga until I got my first PlayStation. And there was a kind of an inevitability that the two would combine at some point. And I'm trying to think, when Killzone 2 time, I remember just starting the game there and just wandering around the place looking at they had like volumetric smoke effects at the time, and just watching this smoke grenade go, and I was like, wow, but it never really struck me that was someone else's work still, wasn't it? You're just enjoying it. And then on PS3, and this is really not really related to virtual photography, but when Little Big Planet came out, that was the sort of change in my mind from games being about what someone else has created to games being about something you could create. And on Little Big Planet 2, I created some little games like a Pong clone and a car racing thing, and you could share shots of it to the community. So that actually was the first instance of me sharing something in game that I was quite proud of. And I've still got those pictures. They're really poor, low quality,
Yeah, but
but
they are a nice memento to.
Exactly, yeah. And that was the real change in enjoying the game and showing off something that you've done with the game. And then, so Wipeout HD, I think on PS3 had a primitive photo mode. And it's something I just looked at, experimented a little bit. I thought, cool, but there was never the platform to share it to.
Yeah.
Then the PS4 obviously came along with the share button, and I remember people like, "What's that for? Why do we need it? Yeah, who wants that exactly?"
For the most time, I didn't click it once. I had
really,
the PS4
okay.
for like 3 years. Whoa, 3 years before I pressed it the first time.
It's terrible. You should be ashamed.
I am.
Are you going to wait 3 years to click the create button on the
Oh
PS5?
no, that's the first button I'm going to. I
Isn't it? Yeah.
so want to know what that button does.
Yeah, you're not alone. But yeah, the share button then connected the dots essentially, where you've got that underlying interest in images, in creating beautiful images, and suddenly you've got a way to share your creations from the games. And I think Infamous Second Son was probably the first one I actually ever shared from. But it was still just very occasional. I didn't really do it with any dedication. And then, as with probably most people, Horizon Zero Dawn took that up to the next level because it was just the benchmark, wasn't it? And I think Horizon Zero Dawn not only piqued so many people's interest personally, but it elevated the communities on Twitter and Instagram, where you could see so many like-minded people, and suddenly it became something to get involved in. So yeah, that's kind of the meandering route towards it.
It's funny because this is without a doubt my favorite part of the show. I know we still have tons before after this and tons before, but knowing the what led you to this moment, to the moment that you call yourself a virtual photographer, it's always so different. There aren't like the games, maybe like many people started with Horizon Zero Dawn, maybe that is like the common thread. But what led to interest to open the photo mode for the first time, it's it's amazing to hear the people's stories about that.
Well, one thing I am enjoying at the minute is my little girl, who's just turned 8. She's in love with Horizon Zero Dawn. She's obsessed with it. And originally, we limit how much they can play games, the two of them, but we let her just wander around on Horizon, just because it's a fairly friendly, innocuous world for the most part. So she enjoyed that. She enjoyed the climbing. Now we let her play it fully. She's completed the game. She's now playing it on her second playthrough. But she keeps, even though she criticizes me, she's like, "Oh, you're always on photo mode." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, we've got to do it, But she keeps diving into the photo mode herself.
Oh, that's awesome.
And nothing. I'm not pushing her to do it. I try and, if anything, I don't want to say, "Come on, try the photo mode," because she's more likely to not do it. But yeah, just because she sees it and she thinks it's cool,
yeah,
she's trying it.
I had a similar I had a similar experience. Okay, my nephew is much older. He is now turning 18 this year, but he got an Xbox for Christmas with Jedi Fallen Order, and he was sharing shots from Jedi Fallen Order because he knew what the photo mode was, because I was doing the same. And it's always a warm feeling. My nephew's
it's
kind of like my
rewarding.
brother, so seeing it really warmed my heart. And I get what you're saying. It's awesome.
It's good to
it's
inspire
really
someone.
And it's different somehow. Like when you inspire someone on social media, people tell you, "Oh, you got me to try photo mode." But when it's someone from your life, like telling you, a real person in front of you instead of online presence, it's different. It gives you that warm fuzzy feeling inside, like, "Oh, I'm the one who did it."
And it feels really natural as well, in that you've not done anything to try and encourage it, deliberately. It's just happened that way, and you think that's a really positive. Yeah, it's good.